What we're looking at here is a new game from Screaming Void called Now You See. For some clarity and some perspective, I hate almost anything spooky. I am a big chicken. I honestly think the last spook 'em up I purposely bought was Dementium the Ward on the Nintendo DS. I don't particularly like horror films, haunted houses, or most places after dark, so it's surprising how much I like this game. This channel has a long history of providing content on point and click adventure games, both classic and contemporary, and as Now You See sells itself as one of these, that's probably why I was drawn to it. The setting is simple, it's straight out of Rocky Horror Picture Show. You're escaping a big old storm, you find yourself at a house, and then things go as expected straight away. I'll hopefully stay completely away from spoilers or solutions, as this is an escape game relying on puzzles and interaction to see it through, so if I spoil any of that I'd be taken away from the experience for any of you. The unique selling point is the hand-drawn 2D art, with every location a painting that you traverse. It may be light on narration and characters, but it has bags and bags of nightmarish personality. I thought more than once of the famous Francisco Goya painting Saturn devouring his son, and how distressing a still image can be. I'm not saying that this is the same art style, but a painted image of a spooky nursery can definitely cause me to feel uneasy. This game can be used as a textbook example of show, don't tell. Apart from the inevitable jump scares, which I will come back to, you can draw your own conclusions in many of the painted scenes on the background to items, the room, and the characters, both living and dead. There is a constant unease throughout and a persistent nagging terror, even in the areas which afterwards you found proved to be safe. Returning to jump scares, there is a certain inevitability of screamers being used in a game which is purposely static, where you are concentrating on the screen. Images can certainly be creepy, but it's the flash of movement and a big noise that gets you. Surprisingly to me, there was actually fairly few individual scares like this, although some of them you will see many times. Another bonus to this game is that the UI is just as complex as it needs to be. The game is controlled entirely by the mouse. Left click action, right click inventory. You drag and drop the things that you have onto each other and then you put them onto the world objects. That's it. With that in mind, the puzzles fall on more of the cerebral side of thinking. There are definite and hard puzzles. There's none of that Monkey Island rubber chicky with a pulley in the middle stuff. But unfortunately, some of the bottlenecking in the game will result in going through your inventory one by one to get an interaction that will let you progress. I also found myself often pixel hunting, where I'm running the cursor all over the scenes to find something just to interact with. This really is the biggest immersion breaker. This is a very linear game and you'll be on a single path for the majority with one solution at a time. There are a couple of red herrings, scenery you can interact with no further purpose, but overall the majority of everything you can zoom in on, touch, pick up, etc. will almost certainly be used, and if you can't find the exact thing in the order you're meant to do it, you're not going nowhere. The last thing to mention is the sound design is great. You have a persistent and doomy backing track without going into the cliche or schlocky territory. It is there, it sets the pace, and it does not interrupt. When layering knocking doors, heavy footsteps, and the odd scared dialogue over the top, it's absolutely perfect. Top marks. As I'm not a spooky fan in general, I can't compare this to many titles. However, as a creepy escape room or adventure point and clicker, this hits many of the right marks. You can grab it right now for its current low price on Steam, and I wouldn't worry if you have to use guides at some point. It's a hard game. I also wouldn't worry if you have to turn the sound down a couple of times like I did when I knew I was in for a big shock. As always, all the best. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.